So picture this. The very device you're going to use to stream a movie tonight could be part of a massive global cyber attack tomorrow. Sounds crazy, right? Well, that's the reality of a huge new threat called Kimwolf. It's basically turning our living rooms into the new front line for cyber warfare. To really get a grip on what Kimwolf is, you have to think on a scale that's, well, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around. We're not just talking about another piece of malware here. This is a massive, shadowy operation that, for a little while, was bigger than some of the biggest names on the entire internet. Let me just ask you a question that's going to sound impossible. We all know Google, right? It's an absolute titan of the internet. But what if I told you that something else, something way more sinister, was briefly generating even more traffic? I mean, what on earth could be bigger than Google? Well, the answer is pretty mind-blowing. For a few crazy days back in November 2025, a single server controlling this botnet was so busy, its traffic actually beat Google.com. Yeah, that's the scale of the shadow we're dealing with here. And get this, in just 4 days, that one server sent out 1.7 billion attack commands. That's billion with a B. We're talking billions of instructions being fired off to this secret army of infected devices, all humming along silently in the background of people's homes all over the globe. So you're probably wondering, where is this massive digital army hiding out? It's not in some far-off corporate server farm. Nope. The battlefield has totally shifted. It's now somewhere much, much closer. It's right inside our homes. And this is a really crucial shift in how these attacks work. See, the old botnets, they'd go after stuff like your router or maybe a security camera. Kimwolf is way smarter. It's targeting the powerful little computers we all have in our living rooms, our Android-based entertainment systems, the ones we use for streaming and gaming every single day. Yeah, Kimwolf is laser-focused on these really common and often, rarely updated Android TV boxes and smart TVs. It just hijacks them and turns what's supposed to be your source of entertainment into a soldier in a global attack network. And what's the result of all this? Almost 2 million of these everyday devices are now compromised. And this isn't just a problem in one country or region. It's a truly global arsenal. We're talking infected devices everywhere, from Brazil and the US to India and South Africa. Okay, so building an army this huge is one thing, but controlling it without getting caught? That's a whole other level of difficulty. So how exactly does Kimwolf manage to operate with so much stealth and sophistication? All right, first, let's do a super quick refresher on what a botnet actually is. The easiest way to think about it is like a ghost army. It's a whole network of hijacked devices, like your TV box, that are all secretly being controlled by one attacker, carrying out commands without you having a clue. Now, this ghost army gets its orders from a central hub, something we call a command and control server, or C2 for short. It's basically the general's headquarters. So, in theory, if you can find and shut down that C2 server, you can take out the entire botnet. But Kimwolf has this really clever trick up its sleeve to protect its headquarters. It uses a technique they call ether hiding. So instead of hiding its C2 server address on a regular old server that can be taken down, it embeds the address into the Ethereum blockchain. The blockchain is like this permanent, public, decentralized ledger. You can't just go in and delete stuff from it. And that makes the botnet's command server incredibly hard for security teams to find and shut down for good. Which, of course, brings us to the most pressing question of all. Not just for security experts, but honestly for every single one of us who owns one of these devices. If this botnet is so massive, how in the world is it spreading? And this is maybe the most disturbing part of the whole story. Nobody knows. Seriously, the exact way Kimwolf jumps from one device to the next is still a complete mystery. And think about it, if you don't know how a fire is spreading, it's almost impossible to put it out. Now, an operation this big isn't just about causing chaos for the fun of it. Like pretty much all modern cybercrime, it's a business. And from the looks of it, business is booming. You probably think a botnet this huge would be used for, massive attacks to take down websites. But that's not its main gig. A staggering 96% of its power is used for something else entirely. It's a massive proxy network. What that means is they're basically renting out the internet connections of all those infected devices to other criminals to help them cover their tracks while they do, whatever illegal stuff they're up to. So let's be clear here, the attackers are literally renting out your home's internet connection. They use this tool, the ByteConnect SDK, to sell your bandwidth to the highest bidder, other criminals who then use your connection to hide what they're doing online. And the digital breadcrumbs here suggest Kimwolf isn't working alone. It shares code, it shares scripts, it even shares the same digital signature with another really nasty botnet called Iosuru. It's kind of like finding the exact same fingerprints at two different crime scenes. It points to a single, very sophisticated criminal group being behind both operations. So let's zoom out. What does a threat like Kimwolf really mean for the future? Why should this story about this one piece of malware actually matter to you? Well, the reality is this. Those powerful, always-on computers we have sitting in our living rooms, they're the new frontier for cyber attacks. Your smart TV, it has a decent amount of processing power. It's always connected to the internet. But when was the last time it got a security update? It's not like your phone or laptop. That makes it the perfect silent soldier for an army like Kimwolf. And all of this really leaves us with a pretty critical question to think about. We all love how convenient our smart homes are, right? But as we keep filling them with all these connected devices, are we accidentally building unprotected backdoors for threats like Kimwolf to just walk right in? Because what this whole thing shows us is that the smarter our homes get, well, the more vulnerable they just might become.